Why do you support Dan Mays?
Dan Mays is the people's choice. He won the Republican nomination, and it is our obligation to support him.
Why? The only reason half the people voted for him is because his opponent got caught plagiarizing the works of a state Supreme Court justice and then blaming an 80-year-old man.
Okay, so you support Tancredo. I bet you believe we should just let a Politburo committee of insiders select our candidate?
Those same insiders hate Tom. You really think half the people who have endorsed him did so because he was their first choice? Give me a break, they are only doing so because Mays was an utter embarrassment who couldn't have won.
Utter embarrassment? You are supporting Tancredo, the same guy who says he wants to bomb Mecca, wants to end legal, and not just illegal immigration, while hiring illegal immigrants to redo his basement, and supports the right to a job, while saying Barack Obama is a socialist? Seriously?
Tancredo may have had some errors in his past, but at least he never manipulated an 83-year-old woman to giving him money to pay his mortgage, or stuck a check back into her purse to cover his tracks.
Please, that 83-year-old woman is the legendary Frida Poundston who probably set Dan up. Also, you are speaking about clumsy? Didn't Tancredo promise all the grassroots leaders last year not to run as a third-party candidate, because such a course of action was suicidal, and would only result in splitting the conservative vote?
Do you really believe that Tancredo could foresee that a candidate would get to become the Republican nominee who would rob an old lady, pay his employees who weren't his family with envelopes stuffed with $100 bills and lie about his experience as an undercover police officer? What, is Tancredo supposed to be a mind reader with psychic abilities? Do you think he can predict the future?
Dan Mays didn't lie about being an undercover cop. He was vindicated.
No, he wasn't. Instead of vindicated, his files showed that he was never an official undercover officer, and that the reason he was fired was because he blew an investigation by telling his girlfriend that her family was being investigated.
No, he was fired because he challenged powerful people.
Do you honestly believe that? Do you really think that a 20-year-old cop on the force for just a year or two would be fired on that basis?
Honestly, no.
You realize that it wasn't so much the fact that he was fired for something that happened 20 years ago as the way that Mays lied. Ken Buck got canned too for screwing up an investigation, but nobody cares because he told the truth about it. Mays though not only expects us to believe a lie bigger than Santa Claus, but also treated his biggest supporters like stupid children, by calling them into a closed-door meeting and taking all their cell phones away while lying his butt off about the whole thing.
Okay fine, Mays sucks. But if Tancredo wins, we will be stuck as a minor party.
Being a minor party isn't a big deal.
Not a big deal? We can only fundraise half as much.
Not if a candidate gets their wife, husband, or life partner to run against them in a primary, and besides we can just change the law.
Oh, so Tancredo wants to change the law now after the fact? Love to see him apply that to his immigration views. I can see it now in the Denver Post, amnesty for the Republicans.
It's a small price to pay for good judges and control over redistricting.
It isn't a small deal. We will have our names below the crazy ACP on the ballot, and will get stuck splitting the vote for up to 8 years with a third party.
Nobody will vote for the ACP in other races.
Tell that to Scott Gessler, who may actually lose as his ACP opponent has been polled with 15, while he has only been 2 or 3 points ahead of his Democrat opponent.
Okay fine, you have a point, but the Secretary of State isn't as important as the governor. We need Tancredo as a governor for us districting.
Why is redistricting some holy talisman for you? Even if Mays sucks, and I decide that I can handle the Republican Party being reduced to minor party status, that doesn't mean I should support Tancredo. The guy is almost a socialist in some of his logic, for Pete's sake.
Socialist in his logic. Tancredo has a 97% positive rating from the American Conservative Union, and was steadfast in his opposition to Medicare Part D.
Dude, he believes in the right to a job and a high wage and talks about using government regulation to protect our culture. How can you not get more socialist than that? And speaking about regulation to protect culture, what is next? A Tancredo promise to fully fund the National Endowment for the Arts?
That's just one issue, immigration, which he wouldn't have control over because it's a federal, not a state issue.
No, he also voted for TARP, refused to vote against the GM bailout, and supported the Patriot Act. Also, even if you were right that it was just one issue, who cares? Using socialist logic in one issue, even if it supports a popular position, is a sign of a socialist mind.
How can he be like a socialist? He has support for all the right issues. We can trust him.
Oh, like we could trust him to honor his promise on term limits? Please. Do you really trust a politician? Anyway, it's a pretty sad day when liberal media matters lectures a conservative about lying with statistics as Tancredo does on immigration. It's supposed to be the liberals who lie with statistics, not us.
Okay, you are kind of right, but still it's a choice between him or Hickenlooper, and, while Tank may be bad, he isn't as bad as a guy who has ties to the Chinook Fund.
Chinook Fund? You are honestly trying to scare me with a Chinook Fund, when Tancredo is owned lock, stock and barrel by Numbers USA, a group founded by a commie radical environmentalist and that has ties to eugenics, support for forced abortion, and the zero population growth movement? Please. Don't get me wrong, Tancredo is better than Hickenlooper, but it's tough to call Hickenlooper the Antichrist when the conservative Colorado Springs Gazette endorsed him.
Okay, fine, maybe all the governor candidates suck. But with Hickenlooper we won't get better judges and we will get screwed on redistricting. That is an opportunity that comes along once every 10 years. For that reason alone, I must support Tancredo.
Yeah, but with Tancredo we will have a charismatic guy corrupting with socialist logic, a grassroots movement that comes along only once every 50 years. I might not vote for Mies or Hickenlooper, but I can't vote for Tancredo either. Besides, if Tancredo is in power, we can't get a real conservative like Sean Mitchell into the governor's mansion until 2019 at the earliest.
I think you are exaggerating things.
I think you are blind to the danger.
Okay, we aren't going to agree.
Should we go to the Broncos game? They are playing the Raiders at home.
Only if you buy the food.
Deal.